Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, where we read, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." That's a simple little verse, I think, with a very important principle. The plans of the diligent. Let's think about that for a minute. Several ways we could look at it. I want to look at a couple. The first one is this: that diligent is not enough. Someone can work very hard at something, exert lots of energy and time, and we admire their diligence and discipline to keep working away at this thing or this project. But if they'd taken the time to plan or to read the instructions, the 5-hour job we're admiring might have only taken 2 hours. Diligence is good, but part of diligence and discipline is learning the importance of planning, taking the time to read the instructions, to make sure you have all the right tools, make sure you have plans, you understand the goals, etc. We can make a lot of bad choices and waste a lot of valuable time if we believe diligence is enough, that hard work is enough. If you want to learn a sport, it's not enough to have discipline. You can go out and hit thousands of golf balls on the driving range. If you haven't taken the time to take some lessons, though, and learn the golf swing, the right golf swing, you're actually making things worse, not better, by spending long hours just hitting and swinging away any way you feel like. We've probably all heard the saying, practice makes perfect. But the reality is, practice does not make perfect. It makes permanent. If you are a driven person and you like hard work, you're kind of the let's get at it kind of person, you may find it hard to stop before you get started and plan and look things over or take a lesson. And if that's you, maybe you need to heed Solomon's advice and sit down and plan a little bit first. But the other side is this. It's not enough just to have plans. This is where others come up short sometimes. They think and they plan and they spin their wheels. This is what committees are famous for, planning ad nauseum, but nothing ever gets done. Plans are useless without diligence. Plans are useless without the discipline to carry them out. Some people see planning as a substitute or an excuse for fear making a decision, or maybe as an excuse for avoiding the hard work involved in carrying the decision out. But plans never helped anyone. We need to evaluate the need, set the course of action, but then they must be acted upon. I was thinking about spiritually, even as we have plans to read our Bibles, and sometimes we have Bible reading plans. There's lots of them to choose from, and it's great to have a plan. But the plan in and of itself doesn't help you unless you are diligent enough to carry it out. On the other hand, just reading the Bible, just picking verses here and there and reading them, you may be very faithful at that and doing it and reading, but you just find yourself frustrated because you don't seem to be learning anything because you don't have a plan. So the plans of the diligent are important. But then there's the other person he talks about, the hasty person, the one who's always running ahead, jumping to conclusions, failing to think or not counting the cost, making knee-jerk reactions and acting on impulse and not good judgment. They won't take the time to think, count the cost, evaluate. And normally hasty people are quick to start projects but seldom finish the task. I think a hasty person and the diligent person without a plan are kind of describing the same person. Hasty decisions are seldom good decisions. A friend told me once that if he ever is pressured into making a hasty decision, he backs off because he feels the Lord would not generally lead us to make decisions without prayer, and seeking wise counsel, and making sure we understand what's being asked of us. When Satan tempted Jesus in the desert, he wanted him to make hasty decisions based on the immediate circumstances he was facing. He was alone, and he was hungry, and he was tired, and Satan capitalized on those to get him to make a hasty decision. But he didn't do it. Beware of those hasty decisions that are forced upon us. We need to make a decision right away. Well, ask yourself, do you? People who are characterized by hasty decisions are those whose lives are often in disarray, filled with a lot of regret, a lot of debt, sometimes broken relationships. Scammers prey on people who are characterized by hasty decisions. So don't be hasty in your decisions. Seek counsel and pray. If you don't have time for those things, that may be the answer right there about the choice in front of you, especially if it is an important decision. But remember, these are general principles for wise living. They're not hard and fast rules. Obviously, if you see a child walking toward a busy highway, that calls for a hasty decision. There's no time to plan or pray or ask for advice. You run to them, you yell, and you grab them, pull them to the ground if you have to. But if every decision you make is like that, you may need to remember the words of Solomon. Everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. So take the time to plan. Exert the energy to carry out the plan. Discipline without plans can add up to a lot of wasted energy. Nothing gets done right. Plans without diligence can add up to a lot of wasted time. You know what to do, but nothing gets done. May this simple truth guide us and guard us as we live in the trenches of life to the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.